Hey, shalom, 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 shalom to the nation of Israel, shalom to the elect out there. Now, before I get started, as always, I just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakaha Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS that do rule well and that do teach well and that have taught me this truth. To you I say shalom and shalom unto the hopeful elect. Very good video to start my morning, to start my day. I watched this earlier this morning. This is Elder Apostle Gabar's lesson, and it's called 8 Wonderful Promises the Heavenly Father have promised us Israelites after America's destruction. And the Elder Apostle's channel is called Daily Edification 4. Very good video in my opinion, very uplifting. And near the end of his video, the apostle said that brothers should bring out a scripture or a precept for each point that he brought out. So I'm going to follow that. I'm going to follow suit with that. And the first point is deliverance. So first scripture that comes to mind is Revelation chapter 21 verse 1. Subtitle is The New Heaven and Earth. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea. And true, that new heaven and new earth is going into the kingdom of heaven, our time to rule. A couple precepts come to mind, man. Daniel 7:18, the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Also 2nd Ezra 6:9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And the new heaven and earth is the beginning of it that followeth. That's when we're going to be ruling. And it's going to be an everlasting kingdom forever and ever and ever. And it's going to be a righteous kingdom. Verse 2, and I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the Most High out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. That's true, because the nation itself, the nation of Israel, is likened unto a beautiful and comely woman, unto Yahweh Bashem Yashai, and we're married unto her. Right? And how are we married unto the Lord? Through the covenant. Right? Through the covenant. We promised the Lord that we would serve him and follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. So we're joined unto him. We're married to him. Verse 3, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men. That's right, it starts with the men. Because we're a nation of kings and priests. Royalty. Naturally. Alright. But really we're priests. I want to say that. We're priests. We're overseers of sacred things. And the things that the Lord has given to us spiritually are very, very sacred. And it's found in the scriptures, going into the law, statutes, and commandments. Those things are very, very sacred. Very sacred. And he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and the Most High himself shall be with them and be their power. And this is obviously talking about the future, talking about the kingdom of heaven, because this is not happening now. The Lord isn't dealing with the entire nation. He's only dealing with a select few of individuals. And how is he dealing with them? He's dealing with them through his son. But in that day, hey man, we're gonna be able to go see the Lord himself, because we're gonna have the laws written in our inward parts. We're going to be made perfect. Right? So that's what deliverance is going to bring. Perfection, man. A beautiful. And you can't fathom this. You really can't fathom this right now in this time, because everything is hell. I'm not saying that I'm eating out of a dumpster. I'm very, very poor. It's just that it's not going to be the same routine, waking up every day. Like Elder Apostle Gabar, he mentioned it in the lesson. Every day is going to be like a party, a righteous party, where everything is going to be joy, everything is going to be happy, success, righteous. Right now, we're not experiencing that. You get up, you turn on your computer, you turn on your phone, and all you see are these headlines of destruction. oh, such and such, oh, this is just in, Russia just shot off Scud missiles on Ukraine. Oh, there was another drone strike. That's not how it's going to be in the kingdom. It's going to be joy, man. Happiness. So verse 4, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. That's right, we're no longer going to suffer. A part of the tears being wiped from our eyes, that's the curses, man. The curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 15th verse on down. Right now, that's what we experience, and that's a part of our tears. That's the sorrow, that's the death. And this is another thing you can't fathom in this life that we're living right now. Death. Death is all around us. I think King David said in one of the Psalms, I'm in the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Right? And yeah, you're not going to fear death because the Lord is with you, but death follows you around like a shadow, man. You can leave your house one day and walk across the street, and then you get hit by a car, man. That's not going to be the reality for us in the kingdom. In the kingdom, we're not going to have to worry about things like that. We're not going to have to worry about dying, getting cancer, getting all these diseases, getting diabetes. We're not going to worry about those things. But yes, man, a part of the tears is really the curses. As a nation, we're cursed. We're cursed on all levels, man. It doesn't matter how successful you become. It doesn't matter how hard you work. You're always going to be seen as lazy. That's a stigma on you, and that goes back to the curses, man. Can't stress that enough. Even individuals like LeBron James, who are champions, who are Olympians, who were child prodigies, who are billionaires, who are successful, who are great fathers. And I'm using LeBron James as an example. He's an Israelite that's in the world, but he's a great man, right? But even then, he's still seen as lazy by certain individuals. Believe it or not. That's fucked up. Right? That's messed up. But that's the stigma that's on us because of the curses. And I have conversations with these people in the world, especially these heathens, man. And that's how the heathens treat us. They just see us as lazy, as bums, man. It's ridiculous. It doesn't matter how hard you work. But that's not going to be the case in the kingdom, man. That's not going to be the case. All right, so verse 5, it says, and he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I will make all things new. And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful. Yeah, true and faithful. Hey, and that starts with Yahushua, the faithful witness. And that starts with him, and he is the whole volume of the book. And he is the living word. Verse 6, and he said unto me, it is done. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is athirst of the foundation of the water of life freely. True. And you don't got to pay for this word. You don't got to pay for this word. This word is given to you freely. You don't have to pay a ridiculous amount of donations and tithes. Well, you got to pay your tithes, just your 10% that the Lord requires of you. But still, this is given to you freely. You shouldn't have to pay for the word. A lot of people out there, they're paying for the truth. They're paying for the scriptures. And what do they get in return after they pay for it? They get nothing. They're not being told the right thing. They're not being taught the right things. It's messed up. Anyways, man, let me just get this. This is Colossians. Colossians chapter 1, verse 13. Subtitle says the incomparable Yahushua. And this is the reason why all tears are going to be wiped from our eyes. This is why we're going to get a new heaven and earth. Because Yahushua paved the way. Now it says, who hath delivered us from the power of darkness, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood. Yes, redemption means he bought us back. He redeemed us through his blood. He bought us back through his blood. He had to shed his blood. He had to die on the cross. And we got the victory because of that. Right. Now the Lord is going to deal with us because Yahushua gave his life for that. Even the forgiveness of sins who is the image of the invisible power, the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him, and he is before all things, and by him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have the preeminence. For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell. Beautiful. And it's because of Yahushua, that's why we're able to get the kingdom. And don't you forget it. That sacrifice was very important. And nobody can compare to Yahushua. He's one of a kind. He is one of a kind, man. Nobody can do that sacrifice. Nobody can be Yahushua. All praises to Yahushua. Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, man. Alright, so let me get another one. This is obviously for deliverance and us getting the kingdom. So this is Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Yahushua 1,000 years. And that's going to take place in the kingdom. And these were the ones that didn't bow down to the image of the beast, didn't care about the beast system. These are the ones that didn't take the mark, the MOTB. These are the ones that sacrifice things on this side just so they can live better in the next life, which is the kingdom. And that's what you're really preparing for. You're preparing for the kingdom. So you're going to forsake the things of this world so you can live a better life in the kingdom. Because this world that we're living in right now is temporal. Things come and go, things fade away. In the kingdom, it's going to be eternal. The crown that we're going to receive is going to be everlasting, man. And it will never go dim. The things you receive in this life, it doesn't last forever. You get a house, it breaks down, it dilapidates. You get a car, it breaks down. These things are temporary assets, man. Right? Or what should I say? Or a better way to say it, it's a depreciating asset. These homes, these cars, they're all depreciating assets, man. They don't last forever. An asset is supposed to last you a lifetime. And that's going to be the kingdom and what we're going to receive in it. All right, and the people that are going to be the head of the government are going to start with King David and his men. Now, let me get this. This is Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore? Yeah, because you've forsaken all. You left your family. You sacrificed getting good jobs, getting wives, and other things, the things of this life. You sacrificed it to follow Yahushua, to get to live a better life in the kingdom. So this is Yahushua's answer. Verse 28, And Yahushua said unto them, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory. Regeneration means you're going to come back in the flesh. Okay, back in the genes. That's what it means, generation. So that's reincarnation. So he's telling them, look, in the next life, this is what you're going to receive. You're not going to receive things now in the next life. When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory, ye also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. That's right, rulership. And this is the 12. Right? And if you can receive it in the spirit, Peter would be King David in the spirit. That's if you can receive it. Right? So Yahushua, King David, and the patriarchs, the 12. Which is the disciples. Alright, so it says here, He also shall sit upon 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Yashar'Allah, and every one that hath forsaken houses, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands, for my name's sake, shall receive 100-fold. and shall inherit everlasting life. But many that are first shall be last, and the last shall be first. That's true. And right now, you're going to be last if you have forsaken the things of this world. But you're going to be first in the kingdom. That's how it's going to play out. You're gonna have everlasting life. You're going to inherit all things. Obviously, after Yahushua, right? Because you're a joint heir. So it's going to be beautiful, and that's what you're aiming for. This is the goal of the kingdom. The goal isn't to gain success at this world, because this world is filthy. Micah 2:10, for this is not our rest, and this place is sorely polluted, and it's dirty, and it's very terrible and toxic. Actually, let me just get that. I kind of butchered it. This is Micah 2:10 here, real quick. It says, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. Yeah, this is not your rest, Jake. This is not the time to rest, to have a good time. This is not the time to rejoice. You can't rest in a wicked kingdom. You can't rest when your enemies are ruling. You can't rest when a devil is ruling the earth, because it is polluted. This place is polluted to a T, man. From the food, ecosystem, everything's polluted. The ocean's polluted, the air's polluted, everything's polluted. The people's minds are polluted. You got people out here smoking cigarettes, man. Here it is, you got a guy smoking cigarettes, and then he's pointing fingers at you, trying to judge you and size you up. You know, people out here are fucked up mentally. If you're smoking cigarettes, man, you got problems, man. But anyways, it says, it shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. There you go. Sore destruction. This place is just set up to destroy you. Not a nice place. So this isn't the end all be all. Okay, so now we're going to move into the next point. We're going to go into number 2, change of bodies for immortality. I got one precept. Actually, hold on here. Yeah, I got one precept. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 50. I'll start here. And it says, the mystery of resurrection. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed. That's right, that mystery. The mysteries are revealed unto his servants, the prophets. Amos 3:6, I believe. And that's true. If this is a mystery that we're reading right here. A lot of people, they read this all the time, especially individuals in the church, but they don't understand what it means. You know why? Because it's a mystery. It's a dark saying. Let me see if I can find that. It's 3:6 here. I think it's 3:6. No, 3:7. Sorry. So this is Amos 3:7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. There you go. So this is a secret. A secret is like a mystery, a dark saying. So this is a mystery. Listen up. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall all be changed. Yeah, we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Yes. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. Yes, and before or when you get into that chariot, your body has to be changed, and that's going to happen within a twinkling in an eye, at the last trump, at the last second. And you're going to be changed. And we're not going to die, man, and we're never going to die again. I just want to say that. Right, so that's why it says, for this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality. Hey, and that really starts now. All right, that starts now in what you're doing for you to get up to this point. Because you got to put off that old man. You got to put off that corruption. You got to get involved with this word, because this word is immortal. It's eternal. That's the right word. It's really eternal. This is the eternal truth. And you got to buy into it now for you to get to this point. Simply put. Simply put. All right, so next one is crowns. Right, so this is what we're going to receive. Crown. Now, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2, verse, I'm going to start at verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. Going into the new song, which is the scriptures, the word. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest. And that's talking about Yahushua. He's taller than everybody. Shows that he has knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and also strength. And upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which we read that earlier in Colossians. That's talking about Yahushua. All things were made by him and for him, and he has the preeminence. This is what it's going into, right? Which I marveled at greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal clothing. That's right, they have put off the mortal clothing, the clothes of death. They took that off because they got involved with the word. So it starts spiritually. You buying into this truth, what you're doing right now, and put on the immortal. The immortal is going into these scriptures, the eternal truth, believing in the names of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and also rehearsing the righteous acts, and have confessed the name of the Most High. Now are they crowned and receive palms. And that's what's going to happen in the future, because right now we're seeking an incorruptible crown. Let me get that. Let's get see here. So here we go. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. And that's what we're reading about. This crowning here is an incorruptible crown that you're going to receive. Right? So we're fighting for that crown right now as we speak, and we're running the race. But only one receives the prize, right? So you can be disqualified during the race if you're not running properly. And really, it's not a full-fledged sprint. It's actually a marathon. A marathon, man. When you're running in a marathon, you have to have something called endurance, which endurance means to make hard. Right? So you gotta know how to pace yourself while you're running. Because if you go full throttle, if you sprint the whole way, you're gonna burn yourself out or get injured. So you gotta know when to run fast, when to slow down. At the very end, that's when you gotta really pick up the pace and push it. Right? So this is what we're doing here. Anyway, the main point is we're going to receive a crown, and we're fighting for it. We're fighting for it. We're doing everything in our power to get that crown. So it says here, verse 25, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. And yeah, so he was watching, talking about Paul, he was watching those Olympians back then, those gladiators back then. They were in the ring, and what they were doing, they were preparing themselves to get the crown by training every day, by eating the right foods, by abstaining from pleasures and things of that nature. That's what we're doing now in the spirit, so we can get an incorruptible crown. So that takes sacrifice. So we're sacrificing certain pleasures and things that are in this life so we can obtain the crown and the kingdom, because that's what we want. So it says, verse 26, I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. And we know what we're fighting for. We're not in it just because we're in it. We're in it because we know what we want. We want to be perfect. We want the kingdom. We want righteousness. That's what we're looking for. You counted the cost, man. That's what you do when you come into this truth. You count the cost. You got to understand what you're involved in, what it takes. All right, so I'm going to go to the next point. This is point number 4, brought back to our land with our true nationality. True. So yes, we're going to get lots of land, and it's going to be righteous. So this is John chapter 14, verse 1. It says, Yahushua comforts his disciples. Let not your heart be troubled. Ye believe in the Most High, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. That's right, and that's going into homes, different planets. You're gonna be owners, man. You're not gonna have one rinky-dinky house. You know, in this place, you can own a house, but you don't really own it. You know, it proves that you gotta pay property taxes because you don't have the lordly title. So technically, you don't even own the home that you have. The bank does. You miss one payment on your property taxes, you're screwed. Your home gets taken away. So you don't own anything over here. But in the kingdom, man, you're going to own planets. You're going to own lands. And that's what Yahushua left to do. He went to prepare a place for us. Anyway, it goes on to explain that. So it says, if it were not so, I would have told you, I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. And that's true. When you go into Acts 1:9, going into the ascension, right? It says here, Acts chapter 1, verse 9, and when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. That's right. So this is when he left. Okay, so why did he leave? He left to go to prepare a place for us. Verse 10, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven as he went up, behold, 2 men stood by them in white apparel, which also said, Ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven? This same Yahushua which is taken up from you into heaven shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. That's right. So he's going to come back the same way he left. And when he comes back, we're going to inherit all things. We're going to get deliverance. And he's going to bring destruction too, to the heathen and to the wicked. So I just thought I'd bring this out because the Lord, he actually did leave. All right. So this is what he said before, to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. There you go. So, that just backs that up. Okay, so we're going to go into the next point. So, well, actually, no. I still have more on land here. Let's go into Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 15. And subtitle says, The Day of the Lord and the Future. So this is going into the future, which is the kingdom. Verse 15, for the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done. It shall be done unto thee, thy reward shall return upon thine own head. So right, everything that they have done unto us is going to be returned unto them in full, in completion. And that's Deuteronomy 30:7. Let me see if I can find that. I think it's Deuteronomy 30:7, yeah. I think it's 7. Yeah. And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee, and thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments which I command thee this day. And Yahweh thy power will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land, for good. For Yahweh will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahweh Bashim Yoshai thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto Yahweh thy power with all thine heart and with all thy soul. Yeah, so all them curses, man, are going to fall upon our enemies, and they're going to be judged, man, because they persecuted us. They put us into captivity. They have belittled us. They have made us a proverb and a byword. Hey, they're going to be persecuted. They're going to be destroyed. They're going to have the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter and the 15th verse on down, all on them. And the new curses that are going to be added, they're going to be on them. And that's going to be a beautiful sight, because they deserve it. These heathens deserve to suffer for their wickedness. Anyways, I just thought I'd bring that out. So, verse 16, for as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. There you go. You're gonna drink down this judgment, this punishment. Verse 17, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, which represents south and north, right? Really. And the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it. Now, what do I mean by south and north? I'm just talking about southern kingdom and northern kingdom. That's just what I mean. Jacob and then Joseph, because Joseph had Ephraim, Manasseh, and etc. Right? So yes, represents south and north, southern kingdom and northern kingdom. That's just what I mean. Be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it. And yes, Esau is going to be destroyed. Going to be wiped off the face of the earth. They're going to be eradicated after 1,000 years. Verse 19, and they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain the Philistines, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, and the captivity of this host of the children of Yashar'Allah shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zaphath, and the captivity of Jerusalem, which is in Sepharad, shall possess the cities of the south. And Savior shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be Yahweh's. You see, so we're going to possess lands, man. Lands. And everybody's going to get a piece. Talking about the tribes. Each tribe is going to get their share. Their fair share. And we're not going to be fighting among each other for land. Like how it was in the medieval days, man. In the ancient world. Oh no, that's my land. That's my land. I'm not going to be fighting our brothers for that. So we're going to have lands. Lots of lands. Now, that's the last one I want. So I'm going to go into slaves. That's number 5. So we're going to get Isaiah 14 and 2. The point will be made in verse 2. So this is Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Yeah, strangers being the Israelite foreigners. I believe that's Gar. I think that's Gar. Let me see if it is Gar. Yeah, that's Gar. So this is talking about an Israelite with rights. Okay, that's Gar. That's the Hebrew word for Gar. So this is talking about Israelites. Verse 2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You see, so we're going to rule over our oppressors, the ones who captured us. They're now going to be the captives. And we're going to possess them, man. So you're going to be servants and handmaids. You know, handmaids are concubines. A woman is a handmaid. Yes, and you women of the other nations, Yes, you're gonna be concubines, man, and you're gonna be popped. If you look good, the ones of you that are ugly, you're gonna be working in the field. That's coming out the Bible, man. I'm not making that up. That's coming out the Bible. I got another one. This is Psalms chapter 149, verse 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. And that's the kingdom. We're going to be singing aloud upon our beds. When we wake up, we're going to be singing. We're going to be happy with a smile on our face. We're not going to be waking up to alarm clocks. To loud, dumbass neighbors. We're not going to have heathen neighbors, especially dumbass fucking neighbors, stupid ass dogs barking. And first, hey, if you're a brother that lives in a bad neighborhood, you're not going to be waking up in a bad neighborhood, man. That's another thing. You're not going to have crime-ridden neighborhoods, gunshots, where you're going to have to put your kids in the bathtub so they don't get hit by stray bullets. You're not going to have that shit. Verse 6. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon the judgment written, this honor have all his saints. Praise ye Yahweh. That's right. This is the honor of the saints. And we're going to do all these things. We're going to praise Yahweh B'Shem Yoshai. We're going to praise the Lord out of our mouths. We're going to have a two-edged sword in our hand. That's physical. That's literal and spiritual. Okay, literal and spiritual. Because the scriptures, the word itself is likened unto a two-edged sword. That's Hebrews 4:12. Or I think, yeah, Hebrews 4:12. Let me see if I can pull that up. Hebrews 4:12. Yeah, so it says here, for the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit, and of the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. There you go. So, these scriptures is like a sword, man. But yes, we're going to have a sword in our hand, and we're going to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. Yes, and we're going to put these elites into slavery. These rulers, these nobles of the earth that have been wicked and evil, we're going to put them into slavery, and they're going to pay tribute onto us. That's what the Lord wants. So next one, we're going to go into number 6, gold, silver, precious stones. And I chose to go into Revelation chapter 21, verse 12. Well, really, I'm going to start at verse 10, because this is the kingdom of heaven. We're going to have precious stones and precious materials around us, and that's how the kingdom is going to be made. It's going to be made with precious materials, precious stones, gold, silver, and things of that nature. So verse 10, it says, and he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High. And this is what he's seeing. This is how the kingdom is going to be. Verse 11, having the glory of the Most High, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates. You know them gates, obviously each bar for the gate represents the 12 tribes, right? Obviously, but that's to keep you nations out. Reason why we have a gate is really to keep you nations out. You know, have to keep you out, man. So yeah, a gate is to keep people out, and to keep also people in. That's the Lord's people. He wants his own people in there. So you nations, you ain't gonna be in the kingdom, man. Alright? There's a reason why there's a gate. And at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. On the east 3 gates, on the north 3 gates, on the south 3 gates, and on the west 3 gates. And the wall of the city had 12 foundations, and in them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city, and the gates thereof, and the wall thereof. And the city lieth foursquare, and the length is as large as the breadth. And he measured the city with the reed 12,000 furlongs. The length and the breadth and the height of it are equal. And he measured the wall thereof 144 cubits, according to the measure of a man, that is, of the angel. And the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manner of precious stones. The foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third a chalcedony, the fourth an emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th chrysoprase, yes, Salakia, the 11th jacinth, the 12th an amethyst. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls. Every several gate was of one pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. And I saw no temple therein, for Yahweh Baal Shem Yoshai, power almighty, and the Lamb are the temple of it. You see, so hey, the kingdom's gonna be decked out. It's gonna be beautiful. Not like this shitty ass kingdom. They're always doing construction, but nothing gets fixed. Everything is concrete. Cut all the damn trees down. Everything's concrete. The roads have potholes in them. This kingdom's shit. A Stone Age kingdom, man. And rightfully so, because a caveman is ruling, man. That's why there's concrete all over the damn place. That's why you have all these goddamn condos. Just modern day caves with holes. They have glass on it. That's all it is, man. We're gonna have no stupid condos in the kingdom of heaven. We're gonna have palaces. Hey, man, that's why it says in the book of Malachi, I believe it's the first chapter and the 4th verse on down, he says that Esau's gonna build up the waste and desolate places. That's what he's doing, Mr. Bob the Builder. Hell, you in office right now for the United States, you have Bob the Builder in office. He's a tycoon, man. A construction tycoon, big time multi-billionaire construction tycoon, Mr. Donald Trump, Mr. Bob the Builder with his hard hat on. He's ruined. That's the Geico caveman, right there. Man, the scriptures is on point, man. The Lord is a power that cannot lie. Can't make this shit up. Can't make this shit up. All right, so that's all I got for. Gold, silver, precious stones. So we're going to go into number 7, which is wives. Hold on. We kind of covered that with I believe it was Matthew 19, because it said here in the 29th verse, or mother or wife, you're going to get that back in the kingdom. That's by default. Whatever you lost, if you lost wives, women, daughters, or whatever, you're going to get that all back. But I'm just going to go into the law and keep it very simple. This is Exodus chapter 21, verse 10. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. There you go. So by default, when we're in the kingdom, the laws are going to be written in our inward parts. So this is going to be like second nature. We're going to follow the law when it comes to taking another wife. So you can have as many wives as you want. The thing is, you have to provide her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage. And that's not going to be a problem in the kingdom, because we're going to inherit all things. So women are not going to be an issue. That's just by default, right? So that's why I read you the law here. So that's it. So this is number 8, lots of offspring to enjoy. That's going into children. So I got this one. This is Isaiah chapter 44, verse 1. Yet now, hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Yasha'Allah, whom I have chosen. Thus saith Yahweh, that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou Jeshurun, whom I have chosen. For I will pour water upon him that is thirsty, and floods upon the dry ground. I will pour my spirit upon thy seed, and my blessing upon thine offspring. And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the water courses. You see, they're going to be like grass, man. You can't count grass with the naked eye when you just look at a field full of grass. I mean, you can't count that. That's a lot. That's a lot of children. So you're going to need more than one woman to do that. Simply put, because you're going to wear your woman out. He's going to get worn out. So you're going to need to have a lot of women, a lot of wives. And they're going to be virgins too. And that's also a part of the law. We're supposed to get virgins, matter of fact. So I'll just finish up. Verse 4. And they shall spring up as among the grass, as willows by the watercourses. One shall say, I am Yahweh's, and another shall call himself by the name of Jacob, and another shall subscribe with his hand unto Yahweh, and surname himself by the name of Yashar'Allah. That's right. So anyways, I hope this was edifying. Till next time, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of GMS. To you I say Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful elect, Kwam Yashar'Allah and Abad Babal. Shalom, and Shalom unto the hopeful elect.